Cognac fam.
If Cognac ain't shot your video yet, what the fuck is you doing?
Even though I don't wanna shed no more tears, I just close my eyes and start dreaming without you.
I love you, Equinox.
It's been a lot of rainy days. I hope that God is making a way. Don't think I needed you anyways. It took some time for me to see it. Y'all don't see what I see. Wear my heart on my sleeves. I'm just tired of bleeding. I always wind up losing in the ending. In this game called love, I lose. Cause who said you win? Who said you win? Anyway, in this game called love, I lose. Cause who said you win? Who said you win? Anyway, even though I don't wanna shed no more tears, I just close my eyes.
So I feel like the trauma started for me when I was 9 years old, and I feel like that's when my guides in the universe was like telling me and preparing me for what was about to happen. Because I just feel like at that moment, like a hurricane like came and swept through and changed my life forever at that point. So like I said, I remember being outside playing with my friends and my siblings, and we took a break and we sat on the porch. And I remember just staring up at the sky and wondering, like, I wonder what I'm here for. Because I've always been fascinated with like the sky and like flying and stuff. So at that point, we was moving from Highland Park once to the east side to a bigger house, bigger space to accommodate our family and stuff. We ended up moving. I think it was like in the summertime that we ended up, like the end of summer we ended up moving. Yeah, it was like right before school, because I think we started school in the fall or whatever. So anyways, we moved on the east side with my mom and my stepdad or whatever, which I don't like to call him my stepdad. He like my father. My sister was there, my brother was there, which is kids from my dad, my stepdad. You guys gotta know who these people are in my life, as I explained it. So I remember just being there. Everything seemed good. Everything was happy, and you know, we had our own rooms. House was bigger. It was nice. It was a really nice neighborhood and it's a really nice house. So I can say like probably around after school, a little bit after school started, my mom and my dad, they was like arguing like a lot at this point. I don't know if they were, you know what I'm saying, arguing because maybe my dad was cheating or whatever, but he was young at the time, so who knows. And also my mom, she had her own things that she was dealing with that I didn't know at the time, but I ended up finding out later. And you guys, so we stayed there for about probably a couple months. It wasn't that long we was over there. Like it wasn't even on the east side that long. We was only there for like probably like a few months, maybe 6 months. I don't even think it was a year that we stayed there. I'm being honest with you. So they kept arguing a whole lot or whatever, getting into it and threatening to leave each other. Me and my sister Sophia, she had came from her mom. Her mom was also on drugs as well. So they always wanted to stay with their dad. So they ended up coming with us. My dad, he was able to get them or whatever for the time being. Me and Sophia, we were scared. So we used to always walk to this, when we used to go to the store, we used to pass this church on the boulevard in Gratiot. And when we passed the church, we would just get down there and we would just stand on the stoop and we would just pray. And we would just pray, because we didn't want to be apart. Like me and Sophia was so close, like we was like the Color Purple's close, like Celie and Nadine. Like that's how close he was, like we didn't want to be away from each other or whatever. So, after so long, like probably like after a month or so, my mom and my dad, they just really wasn't getting along or whatever. So they ended up splitting up. They didn't split up. Sophia and Mook, they ended up leaving. I guess my mom and them they couldn't afford the place or whatever, because we ended up staying with my auntie Brenda, which is my cousin, but she is my auntie or whatever, rest her soul or whatever, because she passed away. So we ended up moving further deeper into the east side with her and her family. And that was something new, because I don't recall us ever living with nobody. Even with my mom, before she even started dating my dad, it was like living with people or whatever, that what was going on. So we ended up living over there, and my mom at this time, she just started becoming like disappearing a lot, disappearing, MIA, leaving for like days at a time, just not coming home, you know. And so I just remember being outside, and my dad like, man, your mama, she on that shit, I'm on that shit. And I'm just sitting up there playing outside, like, what's that thing? What's that shit, Daddy? Like, I didn't know what he was talking about, you know what I'm saying? So I just remember this one night, my mom, she ended up calling me. She was gone for like a couple of days at this point. So she ended up calling me at nighttime, and it was like, your mom on the phone. So I answered, you know, I was talking to my mom. I was like, hey. So mom was on the phone, she was crying, and she was like, oh, hey, Pumpkin. I was like, hey, Mom. And she was like, I was like, what's wrong with you? She was like, Mommy's sick. I was like, what's wrong? And she was like, Mommy do drugs. And I was like, you do drugs? I said, you do the stuff with the needle? And she was like, no, I don't do the stuff with the, I don't do that. So like, I just thought the stuff with the needle when I thought about drugs, because, you know, I grew up watching Sugar Hill Gang, you know, all them old movies where they was like in the set, you know what I'm saying, where they was doing needles and stuff like that. So that's all I remember, and that's what I thought about. I knew and heard about crack cocaine, but I didn't really know too much about it, because my parents didn't have me in that lifestyle at that time, you know what I'm saying? So when she said that, she was like, no, she was like, I'll be there in a minute and I'll tell you about it. And so I was like, okay. So I went back to sleep. I'm like, whatever, I'm a kid at this time, I'm not knowing nothing, you know? So when she finally did get there, they woke me up, and it was like, your mama out here, she wanted to tell you something. So she was in the living room, and she was sitting in a chair, and they was like, tell her what you do. And I was like, she was like, mommy do drugs. And I was like, huh? She was like, I do crack cocaine. And I was like, I was so scared. I started crying because she shocked my spirit. Like, it was like, I didn't want her to touch me. I didn't look at her. She just looked scary to me at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, at that point, when crack cocaine, I do remember, like, kids with that song, like, your mama's on crack, bro. I remember that song. So it was like, I knew I wasn't part of that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, my mom was kind of bougie. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, whatever. So when she said that, it shocked my soul, and it shocked my spirit so bad, to the point that she scared the hell out of me. Like, I was crying, I was screaming, I was like, get her away from me. So they ended up taking me back into my auntie room or whatever. And the next day, my mom, I think she ended up leaving or whatever. And I was just still shook up. I was just rattling my stuff at this point. So we stayed there for a little bit after that. Like, maybe about a couple of months or whatever, but she kept leaving so much. Like, she just couldn't stay put. Like, at this point, I think she was like in the beginning stage of being an addict at this point. And she just couldn't stay. My mama just couldn't stay put for nothing. And my father, it was like my dad, not my father, my dad or whatever. He wasn't my biological father, so it was like only so much that he could do or whatever. And then also too, he like, come get your daughter, you know what I'm saying? But not in a way like, I don't want to deal with her, but just like, basically like, you know, you got a whole kid out here. Then not only that, we have my little brother. Like, my little brother, I'm like 6 years older than him, so he was always straight as my daddy, you know what I'm saying? My daddy, he always had him or whatever. He had me too, but you know, that's his biological child. So my mom, she ended up coming to get me. She ended up moving from over there with Brenda, but I had to go with her. My little brother, he ended up staying with his dad or whatever. And I ended up going with my mom or whatever. We went to like we went to my auntie, my cousin Selena's house. We ended up staying with her and her daughter for a while or whatever, but she kept leaving. Like, she would be leaving. So it'd be like, she'll leave me there, and it was so bad to the point that, like I said, people would be like, you gotta come get your daughters, because she'd be gone days at a time or whatever. So I ended up being at my aunt's house, going there, living with her. My aunt, Tracy, I'm gonna call her Tracy. I ain't gonna expose her name out there, because y'all gonna understand more why I'm not gonna expose her name like that. But my aunt Tracy, she was my mom's sister on her mom's side, you know, they was close, they grew up together, you know. So I always wanted to be with her kids. I always wanted to be over there with her kids because it was more so home to me. Because I grew up with them like since we was little, like little kids. And it was close to my mom because that was like my aunt, so it was like, that was like the second thing to a mother figure that was supposed to be like a mother figure to me. So I ended up going back and forth with her. So things was just getting worse. Like my mom she just started getting bad with the drugs or whatever. At this point, I ended up staying with my grandma. Nobody really knew my mama was doing drugs too. Only people that knew that she was doing drugs at this time when she first started was like my daddy, and I think my cousin Selena, because I think she was doing drugs too. So nobody else really knew. I only think my Aunt Tracy knew at this time that she was doing drugs, or my grandma. My mom, she tried to get herself together. She didn't go to no rehabs at this point. We ended up moving with my grandma. Ended up going to go stay with my grandma for a little bit. She was taking care of me, but my grandma, she didn't know. She just knew my mama was just being weird. Like, where the heck is she? You know, where is she going and stuff like this? We ended up being over there with her, and then also the end of that year, I think that's when my Auntie Tracy found out. My mom and her ended up going out to a club. They ended up going out to a club, and then I think later on that night, my mom ended up telling her. And my mom and Tracy was close. They were so close, they was like, people used to mistake them for twins, and that's how they was just real close. They was real close to each other. They fought and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, like any siblings, but they was close. They was real close siblings or whatever. So when she told her that, it shocked her. It shocked her spirit. It scared her. Looking back at it now as an adult, I understand where Tracy was coming from, but as a kid, I didn't understand. But looking back at it now as an adult, I understood where she was coming from. So the story that I heard when my mom told her that she did drugs, she started screaming and crying as well, and she was messed up. She was like, what? So it was at my grandma's house as well too. And this is emotional, sensitive topic for me. So if I'm crying, I'm gonna be crying. I'm a crybaby. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a sensitive person. Anyway, so she had ended up telling her like she was doing drugs. And so Tracy was like, she pulled her and told her to my grandma. She was like, tell her what you told me. Tell her. And she told her, she said, I do, you know, I do drugs, I smoke crack. And my grandma, she was shocked as well. And my auntie, she was devastated. I think her heart broke so bad. And so she had, at this moment, I think this is what made it worse for my mom. Because like I said, they were so close, they was like, you know what I'm saying, like twins or whatever. So she told her, my Auntie Tracy, she hadn't got divorced at this time, but she was separated from her husband. So she gave her ring and she said, here, I'm gonna give you my ring because this is gonna be a token of love for me. She said, I can't deal with this. And I want you to know that I love you. So at that moment, Tracy just turned her back on my mom. Like, she treated her like she didn't even exist. So I think that really messed my mama up real bad. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I think she went down here worse after that. Because it was like, when I'm looking back, telling my story and thinking about the things that I got to tell in this story, it's like, it seemed like so much stuff was happening and it was like years, but it's like, hey, no, this shit was happening like in like months, weeks times. Like, it was so much stuff that was just happening that you would thought it was years of stuff. Like, it was years of stuff when I tell y'all my life, but this was like it was like bat. it was like so much stuff hitting left, right. It was hitting back to back. So, she ended up, going downhill worse. At this point, Kat was out the bag. Everybody knew what she was doing. Was majority of the people, her close circle, kind of knew what she was doing or whatever. So I think when I turned 10, that was 9. When I turned 10, shit happened at 10 too. When I turned 10 years old, my mom, she tried to go to a rehab or whatever. I think that's her first time trying to go to rehab. And I stayed with my aunt. I stayed with Tracy a lot. I had options to stay other places, but I was so, like I said, she was like she was the closest thing that was like more like my mother, and I was so close to her kids. Like, we grew up like sisters and brothers, so I just always wanted to be around them. I think that was a thing for me. That was something I was using to cope, so that it wouldn't feel like maybe so drastic and messed up or whatever. So I always wanted to be around them, even though I feel like Tracy didn't treat me good or whatever. And then also too, let me go back to the Tracy thing when I said that how she disowned my mom when she told her that she used drugs. When I was a kid, I'm like, damn, like, even in my younger adult age, I'm like, that was bold. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you sat there and turned your back on your sister when she actually needed you. You know what I'm saying? And you iced her out. She iced her out. But me understanding and knowing things and like having kids and then just loving somebody that deeply, like, I gotta assassinate you in my head. Because if I don't, you're gonna kill me. If I sit there and I keep worrying about you because I love you that much, you gonna mess around and you gonna drive me crazy. Like, I'm gonna be sick and wore down. So I understand, like, okay, she had to dismiss her in that way, but I just feel like she didn't have to dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tracy dogged my mama. She treated her like shit. Like, she treated her like shit. She could sit here and say, you know what I'm saying, like, no, I don't feel like you did. You treated her like you I feel like you played a part and messing her up. Everybody got their own free will. Everybody got, do what they want or whatever what they like. But I feel like that made it a little worse. Like, it helped add to her already childhood trauma that she never healed from. That's how she was able to get into the lifestyle that she got into and go down the hill that she got into, because she was, it was like, F it. Like, it just added on to her not caring at this point anyways. So anyways, like I said, go back into me being 10, her trying to go to a rehab or whatever. She tried to go to rehab when I was 10 for the first time or whatever. I didn't go with her. I had to stay with my Auntie Tracy and my grandma. Like, we stayed in a 4-family flat. At this point, we stayed in close to Highland Park, but not Highland Park, but on the west side of Detroit. And we stayed in a 4-family flat. So my grandma stayed on one side, my aunt stayed on one side, or whatever. So I would like kind of go in between, but I stayed more over there with Tracy because I wanted, like I said, I wanted to be around her kids. That was home. That was more so home to me. So my mom, she ended up coming back. Her and Tracy at this point, they stayed fighting. It was war after this. Like, they stayed fighting, they stayed arguing all the time or whatever. At 10, I went to my grandmother's house on my father's side, my biological father's side. I was going back and forth over there because at this point, I think did she know? I'm not sure if she knew. They just knew my mama was going through going through a lot. Things of transition. I wasn't going to school like that. Like, I was moving from school to school to school. I was going to school on the east side, going back to the west side with schools, east side, west side, going back and forth with the schooling and stuff like that, or whatever. So my mom, she came back, or whatever, tried to be mama. One thing I can say about my mom, and I don't care what nobody say, and that's why when she passed away at her funeral, I wanted to make that very, very, very clear. I don't care if it was 5 minutes, an hour, a day, 2 days, a week, a month, whatever. My mother, she never stopped trying to be a mother. Like, anytime that she could try to be a mother, She always tried to be a mother. Like, it was just, the drug was just so sick. Like, it was so powerful. Like, it was taking over. Like, the mental. That's why I'm like, they talk about crack cocaine as in like, oh yeah, you get money, you know what I'm saying? You get bad, be a millionaire. I was like, no, y'all was, and I didn't understand either too. And I'm everywhere with this right now, and I apologize, but it's just so much to say. But I didn't understand either when they used to be like, oh, y'all killing, back and watching the little documentaries or hearing the old people and stuff, like, oh, y'all killing y'all people, you're killing your people. And I got older and I sit there and look back and I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like, y'all help participate in killing people and ruining generations. Like, that shit still happening today in 2025. Like, people my age, and I'm like, strung out on crack, like, yo, we talking about the same crack that they put out in the 80s and shit, right? Like, the same shit that had zombies out to this bitch walking that we was sitting up there talking about and scared of. That same crack. Like, y'all doing that? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to know. Rhetorical statement, universe. I don't want to be placed in a situation like that, or nobody that's close to be placed in a situation like that. But it was bad. Me being a mother and something being that powerful that it could take your attention off your kids. Like, your kids that you know that you love deeply. Like, my mama, she loved me. Like, can't nobody tell me my mama ain't love me. Like, my mama showed that she loved me. My mama, she was very affectionate. Like, my mama, can't nobody tell me that. That's why I have real bad abandonment issues and stuff, because it was like, I know my mama loved me. I knew my mama loved me. It was just like, what is she doing right now? Like, get it together, Sanji. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we stop all this? Can we go get our place now? Can we get our own spot? You know? But anyway, so back to 10. Stayed with my aunt and my grandma. Her and Tracy, my grandma and them, they was arguing a lot, so we ended up moving to the east side. I stayed so many places, man. I stayed with everybody, bro. So we moved on the east side with my uncle. Moved with him, and again, the drug's so powerful. My mama, she left me. She left me. And again, I had options to stay with people and to say, no, I want to stay here. But I love my mama so much. If she wanted to stay in a cardboard box, I was staying with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I loved her that much. I wanted to be with her. So, moved over there on the east side with my uncle. And at this point, it was like, I used to just wait up. I used to wait up all night and just wait for her. Like, cause I knew, like, sometimes, like, she would come in late at night. She'd come in at late at night. So I'll sit there, I'll wait for her and be up watching those. Back in the day, they had like those little videos and stuff. We ain't on cable, you know, you got the videos that come on late at night or whatever. So I just sit and watch the videos and hope that she, you know, that she come and pop up so I could at least see her and lay with her. You know what I'm saying? So she ended up leaving me there. Leaving me there for a minute at this point. Like, about, like, I think like over a week she left me there. So I got stuck there. And then I ended up going back to Tracy and my grandma because my mama left me again. So she tried again, I think, to go to a rehab this time. So I sat there and was there for a little while. My father, he hadn't stepped in at this point or whatever. Or did he step in? I think he stepped in since I was like almost like 11 years old. Cause I had graduated from elementary school. So anyways, my mom went to rehab, didn't work out, she came back again. This is like this is an ongoing situation, like rehab, going back. She went, with addicts, what I learned, and that's with anything, with anybody, not even just addicts, a person going to only change if they want to change. You cannot force nobody to change, especially an addict. If they want to change, that's going to be the best success for them. If somebody's forcing them to change, they're not going to change. They're not going to change at all. They're not going to change what they're doing. They just doing it to please this person, and that's only gonna last for so long. So that was the thing with her. Like, people wanted her to go to rehab. and she didn't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So when she did get out or she'll leave, that's because she didn't want to do it in the first place. She wanted to be outside, you know what I'm saying, chasing the dragon or whatever. So when she got back out, again, her and Tracy and Teresa, my grandmother, they didn't get along. So we ended up going back on the east side to my uncle's house. And at this time, again, like I said, I used to stay up all night waiting on her. And at this point too, it started getting to me. Like, it started making me real emotional, trauma. It was traumatizing me. Like, the trauma was setting in for real. Like, this part, I'm seeing how it was developing me, creating that abandonment real bad. Like, it started at 9, but 10, I feel like that's when it really was setting into me. And then it was also making me feel like, am I the problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's something with me. You know, maybe I'm not doing something wrong. Just blaming myself, because it's like I'm not understanding, like, why is it that my mom don't wanna be here? Like, she wasn't the same person no more. It's like she wasn't focused. Like, when she would be around, she wouldn't be that focused. Like, her mind was somewhere else. Like, she was antsy. She always wanted to be gone and stuff like that. And I remember this song by Desiree, You Gotta Be. I don't know if y'all know it or whatever, but I'll post it or play it for this video so you guys can know the song that I'm talking about. But the song is called, I was waking up one night, before, and it came on late at night on one of those channels. And the song is, you gotta be better, you gotta be strong, you gotta be wiser. And I just remember listening to that song, and I was like, you know what? That's what I gotta be. I gotta be more stronger. I gotta be stronger, you know what I'm saying? So that I can sit there and, you know, that's all I gotta be. That's all I remember with that. Like, I just gotta be stronger. And that song actually carried me throughout my life a lot of times. Like, anytime I'm going through something real bad, I just think about that song. Like, this is what you gotta be. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be stronger, or whatever. And so when I think back at that, I'm like, I was a kid having to think about, like, that's what I gotta do. I gotta be stronger. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom was sitting up here, you know, just gone or whatever. So, when I heard that song, like I said, I was like, you know, this is what I gotta be. I gotta be this. And so I sat there, and my mom, she ended up leaving again or whatever. And they ended up calling my father. They ended up calling my father finally, and he ended up getting me for a little bit. But me and him had like a strained relationship, because I think my grandmother, his mother, ended up calling like saying you're going through something, you need to get your daughter. Sorry. Like, 9 is where it started, but I feel like at the end of 10 and 11, that's when shit really started getting real for me. So they ended up calling my father or whatever. I hadn't seen him in probably a couple of years, I think. Yeah, like a couple of years I hadn't seen him. So when he ended up coming around and getting me, I was the only child. Let me go back a little bit about that. I was the only child on my dad's side, on my father's side. So when he came back around, he had a wife, he had my little sister. So it was like, who is these people? You know what I'm saying? Like, who is this? Like, I love my little sister. I love all my siblings. Like, I wasn't one of those them older siblings that was sitting up there like beating on their little ones and stuff like that, or just irritated. You know what I'm saying? It was just a shock to me. It was like, who is these people? You know, you got a wife. You got a kid now, you know, Quan, like, you know what I'm saying? Who is these people you speak of? But anyway, so I ended up going with him or whatever, but we had a strained relationship because I was kind of angry at him, because it was like, where you had been. You know, I was mad. I was kind of angry at him, and then just the things that was, you know, when I was a kid. And I'm not gonna go into detail with him too much about that. Like I said, I got a book coming out, so the more details of things you'll be able to read in there or whatever. So anyways, I get with my dad, my father or whatever. I get with him. He was being nice, he didn't know, like, you know, parents don't come in a book. And I remember he used to always say that, and I didn't understand that until, like, I had my own kids. And it was like, yeah, parents do not come with a book at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I was angry at him. I was angry at my mom. I wanted to be with my mom. Like, I didn't care. I wanted to be with that lady. Like, regardless. Like, so anytime she felt like I said, she okay? Oh, my mama okay now? She stable? I want to go with my mama. You know what I'm saying? I was a mama's girl. Like, I was literally a mama's girl. Like, that's how my daughter is to me. My daughter like a mama and a daddy's girl, but she love her mommy. But I love my mama. So it was strange. And I feel like my father didn't have much patience with dealing with somebody, a kid that was emotionally kind of damaged at this point. Like, I was emotionally kind of damaged because my mom at this point, she hadn't put the works on me. So this was like when I was 10 going into like I think 11. I wasn't 11 yet, but I was still 10 or whatever. So he would be nice to me or whatever, but I wasn't really nice to him in the beginning. I wasn't really nice to him because I was irritated and because I wanted my mom. And I think he didn't have the patience to understand, like, hey, like, your mama ain't here, she doing it. I think at this point he ended up finding out she was doing drugs. He didn't really care for my mom, so it was like he would be unemotional about her and like saying little stuff like, well, your mama ain't here, you know, when she ain't here, it's me or whatever. And that, I just remember that feeling like I just want my mama. Like, I could just only imagine like how a kid could feel, because like I know how much my kids love me, so I like, that's why y'all will understand more down when I tell you more about my story. But like, I can't, I work and live for these kids, like, because I don't want my kids to feel like I felt as a kid, like they want their mama, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, I stayed with him for a while. It didn't work out because we was arguing, getting into it, and again, a 10-year-old. But anyways, we was arguing, getting into it a lot. I didn't want to be with him. I didn't want to be with him at all. So I ended up back with Tracy. Somewhere I always ended back with Auntie Tracy. Like, I always end up with Auntie Tracy. Like I said, I wanted to be around the kids. That was closest thing to my mom at that point. So I always ended up back with her, living with her and stuff. So ended up with Tracy. My mom ended up getting a word that, hey, she back with Tracy. So she had tried to get her clean her act up just a little bit, you know what I'm saying, for the moment. Like I said, she never stopped trying to be a mom. So at this point, I think a family member ended up letting her live in a property that they ended up having with another family member. Because I remember my aunt used to stay in this place with us as well. So things appeared and seemed to, you know, to be okay for the time being. And another thing I can say about my mom, which I didn't understand when I was younger, because I was like, I'm a kid. Why are you oversharing these things with me? But I appreciate it now as an adult. Like, as an adult, I appreciate her explaining and oversharing these things with me, because it's like, it helped mold me and helped me, give me the eyes that I needed to see dealing in this world and the things that I experienced. So I thank her for those, you know, those things now. But when I was a kid, I didn't understand it. Like, it was people's houses that we would go over, and she'd tell me that they smoked crack, and they wouldn't know. Like, I'd be playing with these people's kids, and they wouldn't even know that their parents was a whole drug addict. You know what I'm saying? They would think that they parents just drinkers and stuff like that, and their parents out here, they smokers. You know what I'm saying? And it was sad to watch, because I knew the truth. I had already been shell shocked and got the damn veil and punched off my ass. So I was already just hip to everything. And like I said, my mom told me everything. So anyways, we stayed there at the property that that a relative lived, you know, they had. again, my mom, she just couldn't, she couldn't stay clean. She couldn't get it right. She couldn't stay focused and, you know, the function right. One thing too, my mom told me, so this relative that we stayed with, that was with them, she also used drugs, but she smoked out of a pipe. So me explaining this was, when my mom, she, like I said, she overshared so much stuff to me. So she used to tell me like she smoked 51s, right? Telling the kids and shit like that. I appreciate it, Mom. But so she told me she smoked in her weed and cigarettes, and she used to tell me like, if you smoke, when they smoke it in the pipe, like they gone, like you're a goner, like it's no coming back. She was like, you got a better chance coming back smoking 51s. She was like, but if you start smoking that shit in the pipe, it's a wrap, like you gone. So she was like, she never had used a pipe before, she never smoked in the pipe. So we were staying at this house with the other relative. Everything was good, you know what I'm saying, for a minute, or whatever, to this one day. This one day, I think I came home from school, and my mom, she was in the room with her. She was in the room with her for a minute. She was in there for a while. And I was so angry. I was like having a tantrum in the fucking room. Like I was sorry, I'm like, you know, because it's like, it's bringing up old wounds, but it's helping me heal at the same time. But it just reminded me of because like I said, I got my own kids, so it just reminded me of my daughter, how she would react. But I was having a tantrum in the room, like throwing stuff or whatever, because I was irritated, because I knew, like, I always been a kid that was like always alert, like I always could see the spiritual note. So I knew. I just fucking knew. At this point, I'm like, I'm already going through a roller coaster with this lady. She's trying to get off drugs or whatever. She's telling me that you smoke 51s, like you at least got a piece of chance of trying to get shit together. And she's telling me if you smoke it in the pipe, there's no coming back from that. So I knew when she was in her room, I'm like, she's done. She's in there smoking crack and the fucking pipe. So I remember my aunt, the lady that stayed there with us, the relative, my mom didn't come out the room. She came up. She was like, what's wrong? I just gave her an evil look, and I just didn't want to look at her. Like, I didn't even acknowledge her. I didn't say nothing to her. She just keep asking me, like, what's wrong with you? And so she's like, hey, you come out here and, come get Tauwana. She in here tripping or whatever. And my mama, she knew. So when she came out with her eyes bugged, like, she was high. So I knew, and she knew I knew, because she hadn't told me. She hadn't already told, you didn't told me that, you told me the secret. So now I know the secret, because I see you in this lady room for fucking hours. So I know the secret now. So she'll try to talk to me and stuff, and, like, hey, pumpkin, it ain't like that, or, I tried, or, I'm trying to be a better mom, I'm trying to be a better mom. So I think it was like the fall, it was like fall again, because school started. She decided she was gonna go to rehab again. She was decided this time, like, hey, I gotta get my shit together for my daughter. Again, my little brother, he was with his dad. Like, he was straight. He was with my dad. But I think she had him at this time, too. Because this shit I'm about to tell you next, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, so, she went to a rehab again, this time. This time, she took us. I'm trying to remember. My brother was there. My brother was with us this time too. My brother ended up going to this rehab. Went to this rehab on the east side. I was on the boulevard. And I remember driving there. Like, this song for years. And sometimes it still makes me emotional. Like, I'm a music person, so I relate a lot of things that happened to me in my life through music. And I just remember at this time, Casey and JoJo All My Life song came out. And I would never forget driving to the rehab. My mom friend was taking us, and that song was playing, going to the rehab. And we went there, like, I don't even fucking think she lasted a week. Like, I don't. I think this shit was some days, bro. So, we goes to the rehab. She gets in there. And again, once I tell my story, I hope it opens the door for other people to tell their story, or people that they know that been through this, and so they can, you know what I'm saying, be able to tell their story, so that maybe it can help heal something in them. You know what I'm saying? But being in a rehab, you hear so many stories. And I'm just like, my mom was fucked up, but she wasn't that fucked up. Like, it was people in there just selling their kids for drugs. Like, they leaving their kids in fucking where. Like, it was fucked up. It was sad. Like, I remember this one lady, it was so bad, and she was so young, you would have never been able to tell that she was a drug addict. Like, she was young, and she had relapsed one day. It wasn't even a 24 hours, and she checked herself in rehab because she was like, I don't want to go back down that path or whatever. But I think she ended up messing up too. I think she ended up getting the fuck on my mom. Anyways, so it appeared to be good. We had our room in there with the rehabs. I had to sit in group, you know, with my mom and listen to these stories. That's how I know other stories and hearing about these things. So anyways, I go to school. I had to catch the bus to school. So I go to school. My mom like, okay, I'll see you when you come back or whatever. And she had my brother, and she was taking my brother to school, I think. And yeah, she was taking my brother to school. So I ended up going to school, coming back, and when I came back to the rehab, my mama hadn't got there. So they was like, yeah, your mom went. She been gone since this morning. She said she's dropping your brother off. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm waiting. At this point, it's dark time. Like, it's night outside. And she hadn't came back. And so, thank God she had my auntie Nana, sweetest person in the world. Thank God she had her on her emergency contact. So she had sent her daughter. She sent her daughter, and she sent my cousin to come get me. And when she did that, they was like, you know, it gave me an option where I wanted to live at. So they was like, hey, you can come to Nana's house with us, or do you want to go live with Lenora? Lenora, she have a, and I'm going to say her name because I let the fuck out of Lenora. They said Lenora, she got a daughter that's around the same age, so you want to go there, or you want to go over here with Nana? So I was like, okay, bet I want to go with Lenora because she got, you know, she got a daughter that's my age. Lenora knew I was her family, but she didn't know me. She didn't know me from like a can of paint, for real. I could have been a troubled teen, because let me tell you, me being an adult and me being a parent and all that now, like, I don't do for kids either. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to take on that responsibility of taking care of somebody's kids unless I just absolutely have to. But she took me in, and she treated me like her daughter, and she didn't know me from a can of paint. She never mistreated me. She never was mean to me. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I got there, she bought me wardrobe full of clothes, shoes, got my hair done. She was just the sweetest to me, the sweetest person to me. And so when I'm there, I'm having fun. Like, I'm distracted. I'm really distracted because, you know, I'm having fun. Like, her daughter was good, and we clicked immediately. You know what I'm saying? It was fun over there. But again, I was a mama's girl, so it would spew out here and there, like, damn, like, you know, I think about my mom, like, where my mom at? So, if you came to find out, my mama ended up relapsing. I don't even think that she even made it to dropping my brother off. She was at a fucking spot, at a drug house, getting high. She ended up relapsing. And I wasn't mad that she left me at the rehab. What really made me mad, because I felt like at this point, me and my mom was like Bonnie and Clyde, like we was close, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you guys ever watched that movie, I Am Sam. He was like a mentally disabled guy, and he had his daughter or whatever, and the mom ended up leaving him with the damn baby or whatever. But the girl, she ended up doing something to the point she ended up getting taken. But she didn't care about her daddy being off, none of that. She wanted to be with her daddy. Like, she had a nice house, nice living, nice family, and she would sneak out the house every day, every night to go with her daddy. And that's how it was with me. Like, I didn't care. Like, imagine I just told you, Lenora, she came through, took care of me, bought me everything. I didn't care about none of that. I wanted to be with my mom. You know what I'm saying? So what really hurted me, like I said, it wasn't a simple fact that she left me at the rehab. It was a simple fact of, it was like, damn, a week went by, 2 weeks. I was more mad that she didn't call me. Like, it was like, Tangela, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm your sidekick. Like, you're not gonna call me? So I was more mad at not her leaving with them fucking weird ass crackheads in there. It was more so like, ma'am, you not gonna call me? You not gonna come check? You not gonna come get me? You're not even attempting to come get me. So I stayed with Lenora for a little while or whatever. And like I said, that was I can say like a little bit one of the best times that I had, and was good. Lenora she treated me better than my mother's sister should have been treating me. Like, I'm just a cousin, but she treated me better than my own mother's sister, you know, treated me. So I ended up leaving from Lenora's house because my cousin, her daughter or whatever, she ended up going to go live with her dad. And I could have stayed over there too, or whatever, but it wasn't nobody my age there for real. So I ended up going to my auntie Nana's house, going to go live over there. They were amazing to me as well too. Like, I'm forever thankful for them, especially my cousin Monique. She did a lot of stuff for me. They didn't treat me how I could say my auntie Tracy treated me. Only thing about them is like you had to have like kind of tough skin to deal with them, because they was like real blunt with their words and stuff like that. So it was like, all right, you gotta have a little tough skin, you know, dealing with them or whatever. But for the most part, like with the kids, they love the kids. To this day, they love the kids. They gonna help. They gonna do whatever there is for a kid. So, you know, it was good over there. We went out. We went to they took us to the movies. They had dates where they had the girls go and do manis and petties. We stayed at hotels in the summertime just to go swimming and stuff like that. We stayed going, you know, out of town. We went a lot of places. Like, they took care of the kids. Like, they was just like real loving people. And so I stayed over there for the that summer when I was 11. I ended up transitioning to going to 11. So I stayed over there. But again, at this point, I feel like my mom, she knew that she could kind of manipulate me, so she would kind of finesse me a little bit, and I wanted to go anyway. So I ended up leaving somewhere that I knew that was better for me because I wanted to be with my mom. So ended up leaving again. My grandmother at this point, my mom, she ended up passing away. So my mom, she ended up living in her old, taking over her place for a while, and that didn't last long. My grandmother brother, he ended up living there as well, and she left me there with him, and that was a repeating thing that kept happening. So I stayed there a little bit. She said she was gonna get her stuff together, and so She just was in and out, in and out, in and out. At this point, too, things was really, she was just out of control with the drug problem at this point. She, what did she do? Oh, she got so high to the point that, I thought that she had a overdose because she wouldn't wake up. And, thank God she had a boyfriend. She had a couple boyfriends through this time, but she had a boyfriend, and, I was crying. I was like, you know, I was trying to wake. I was like, get up, Mom. Like, I'm shaking her, trying to get her up. Like, get up. Like, just rocking her body. And he was like, she all right. She all right. She just high for that stuff. She just high for that stuff or whatever. So, eventually she did end up waking up, like some hours later or whatever. And, she ended up waking up some hours later. And, getting her stuff together, and at this point, it was just like she was a goddamn train wreck at this point. She was threatening to commit suicide, and you know, just all this, like, just me thinking back, like me being a kid having to deal and hear these type of things from my mom and stuff like that. Like, she was really playing on my emotions. I love my mother, and like I said, she was a loving mother, but also from how she was raised, I realized that she had narcissistic tendencies as well. So she knew that I would, like, she could feed off of my energy and my emotions of me being like loving her so much, like loving her to the death of this bitch. Like, I love her. So she would play on my emotions and stuff like that. I remember she wrote a suicide letter and threatened to kill herself. I ended up reading the letter, and I was crying and pleading and begging her to can she not do that or whatever. And she was crying and said she was like, I don't want to. I'm tired. I don't want to be here. I'm tired of going through this. She said she was tired of going through this, which I feel at this point, the monkey was getting hard on her back. Like, I feel like in the beginning, like when I was like 9 and 10, I feel like it was like she was tracing jagging. Like, that's how they do. You go with them. If anybody know about these drug addicts, especially crack cocaine, like how the stages of it, how it works. So I feel like in like the first year and a half, 2 years, it was like, I feel like it was a fun thing for her. Like, she was chasing it. It's like I'm outside. But I feel like going into like that third year, it was weighing on her. It was busting her down. Like, it was like she was getting tired. And so like I said, she threatened. She wrote a suicide note, and I read it, and she threatened it to kill herself. I'm not sure if she took some pills or whatever. At this point, because I do remember her at this point again, like she was out of it. But then when I think when she woke up this time, I was asking, I was like begging her and pleading, and she just kept saying she was tired. She said I was tired. And so again, she kept trying. My mom went to rehab so many dang on times. She tried again. I had to get away from, I couldn't stay in the house with my uncle because honestly something was wrong with him, and he was a known offender. So I couldn't stay in there with him. And let's say, pause on that. We got to give it up for my spirit team. Like, I'm a spiritual person. I'm not a religious person. Not saying that I was not ever a religious person, but I just like to be a free thinker and a spiritual being. Like, I'm just spiritual. But we gotta give it up for my spirit team, because they was looking over me. Like, boy, was they looking and watching over me. You know what I'm saying? But I remember this one time, my uncle that we was staying with at that time in that particular house. That's why I couldn't live at the house with him or whatever. I wanted to be a lawyer when I was younger, and so I had like these suits and stuff, like these nice little dress suits and blazers and stuff. And so I was showing him, and I was like, my mom was gone at this time. I don't know where she was at this point. And so I was like, look, uncle. I was like, I was like, I want to be a lawyer when I grow up. I was like, don't I look nice? I want to be a lawyer, you know, just showing him and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah. And he had ended up getting me something from the store prior, a little bit earlier than that. And he was like, yeah, you know what? You'll be a great lawyer. You'll be a great lawyer. I was like, yeah, I will be. And so I had went to my room where me and my mom stayed at, and I was changing, and I heard him creeping to the door. And something in my spirit, I said, hey, you called me? And he said, oh yeah, I wanted to know, did you want some of these chips that I got? I was like, yeah, but in my spirit, I knew it was something more sinister. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, my team, my spirit team, they just was there. They was there through a lot of stuff, like saving me and watching me for real. And I appreciate my guardian angel, my spirit team for watching over me doing this stuff that I've been through. Because things could have been a lot worse. So like I say, my story is like tough, and what I went through in my life, I feel like it's tough, but I know people personally, stories is like way more horrendous than mine, that been through like, whoa, like how, you know what I'm saying, how did you even deal with, how are you still even standing? Like people ask me how I'm still standing, because I don't look like what I've been through, but the people stories that I heard is like, wow, how you go through that. So anyways, I couldn't live there with him, so I ended up going back at Tracy's house again, because like I said, I was volunteering to go with Tracy because I loved her kids. Like, and again, I feel like a trauma bond with her too, because it was like she was the closest thing to my mom. So I wanted to, you know, be under her, and I wanted to be under her kids. I love her kids, like me and her kids. Again, we were like siblings, so I loved them. I wanted to be around them. And what is it? So, end up going back there with her. She wasn't so nice to me. I feel like she put my light out a lot. I feel like she made me the black sheep and mistreated me because my mama was sick at the time. So I feel like she was mistreating me for that. Like, it wasn't like she was beating on me or anything like that, because she's not that type of person or whatever, but it was the passive aggressive things that she was doing. I was passive and direct shit. Passive aggressive. It was like passive and aggressive, passive and direct things that she was doing to me, to the point that it traumatized me to this day. Like, I would not ever have nobody kids over and I can't buy them food as well. Or I can't sit there and take them all to where I'm going to an event, or to just do anything or activities with my kids. If I can't take them all, we're gonna do something different. If I can't purchase every kid the same thing that my kid is getting, then we gonna downsize my kids. We gonna figure out what we can do that we can all get the same stuff, so nobody don't feel left out. But she would do things like, and I'm speaking about this because this goes into also my trauma, things that traumatized me as a kid. So she would do things like go to restaurants, like go to McDonald's and stuff, purchase her and her kids food, and would come back and scrap me off pieces. Like, have her kids scrap me pieces off and stuff. Like, oh, you want some of this burger, or you want something? And you know, like, of course I want something. I'm hungry. Y'all been gone all day and you came back with food. You know what I'm saying? So she'd sit there, give her a couple of your fries, give her a nugget or something, like, but she would just be dogging me, bro. Like, she didn't really ever. She gave me a place to stay. I can't say that she didn't do that. Like, so I can't say she didn't ever really do nothing for me. But purchasing me, buying me some shit, hell no. She ain't buy me nothing, man. I don't recall her buying me anything. I don't recall her buying me anything. I feel like she felt like me living in her house, me giving me room and board was good enough for her. Like I said, I reference back, that's why I love Lenora and my auntie Nana so much, because they didn't treat them over there, they didn't treat me like that. You had to have tough skin because their mouth was crazy. But for the most part, in mistreating the kids, no, they did not do that. They didn't do that. Like over there with Tracy, she was real bold to me. And my sister friend, me and her was closer in age, and we was like more closer. I was close to all of them, but me and her was closer. Like that was my mom's baby, because they got the same birthday, but it's reversed or whatever. So me and her was always close, and she would stick up for me and stand up for me a lot of times and be like, well, get Tauwana this, or let her, Tauwana didn't get this, Tauwana didn't get that. She always stood up for me. I could say that about my Lisa. That was my baby. That was my best friend, my sister, my cousin. That was everything to me. Or whatever, my diary. That was my diary. And so anyways, I ended up living there with her for a while. And my mom, did she try to come get me at this point again? I think so. She ended up trying to get me again. We ended up moving on with my goddad back on the east side. Going over there with him. She left me again. Y'all should know this MO at this point. This was Tangy MO. She gave me for a minute. Like I said, she ain't never stopped trying to be a mama for the 2 seconds that she could be. But she ended up leaving again. I ended up getting left at people's house. People had to get called to come back and get me. Like I said again, I would end up back at Tracy's house. A lot of times I would go to Nana's house as well, but I end up more, like I said, I wanted to be around her kids. So I end up back at Tracy's house or whatever. And then after I ended up back at her house, when I turned 12, she put me out. She put me out when I was 12 at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll never forget that. She told me I had it. You got somewhere to stay. You got a daddy. So she put me out, and I had to go. I went to my daddy. I went to go catch the bus to my daddy house. At this point, he had moved on. My brother was living with him. He was staying with his new girlfriend or whatever. And so I ended up going to go be over there for a little bit, but I couldn't really, I couldn't stay there, for real. I could, but, the circumstances, you know what I'm saying? So we end up calling. Did I go live with my dad, my father at this time? No, I didn't go live with my father. I was on and off living with my father though, but we didn't get along. So I was like, I would be getting the heck on. Any chance that I can get the heck on away from him, I was getting away from him. So I left from him or whatever. I didn't want to go back with him. So I ended up calling my grandmother, which is my father's mother. She ended up letting me live there, which rest her soul, because she had 13 kids, and half of them was crackheads. Like, whew, you can imagine being a parent back in that day. But anyways, yeah, she had half of the dang on grandkids, so she had to raise 13 kids plus grandkids plus great grandkids. So it was like she was tired, but she didn't want to leave me out there like that. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up going to go live with her. My father, he was financially giving her money to take care of me. It wasn't much, but he gave her something to to purchase things that I needed and to take care of me or whatever, to help with things. So I ended up living with my grandmother, which was good. It was fun living there. It was fun living with my cousins or whatever, and stayed there for a little while. And how did I get from over there? I ended up getting back with my father some type of way. Ended up getting back with him, but again, like I said, we didn't get along, so I ended up leaving, getting back over. It was like a recycling thing. So that's how it started in my life or whatever, with the how the trauma started. I'm gonna go to 13. 13 is when I became a ward of the states. I was a ward of the states until from 13 to 19. Which, when I think back at it now, I'm like, what was that about? Like, again, with my spirit team, it was like they was making sure I was protected. It was messed up, but it was like they was making sure I was protected so that I didn't go off on a deeper end. You know what I'm saying? Go off on a deeper end in life or whatever. So when I was 13, I didn't have much or whatever. My father, he really wasn't giving too much of nothing at the time, and I was at the mall. So I was at the mall. I was getting clothes, shit. I was at the mall hitting them up, getting every name brand outfit you could think of. I had it. I could have been a booster back in my day. I don't live my life like that no more. I'm not bragging about it, but I'm just saying, anything I do, I'm the best at it. But I end up getting caught. Tell you about that story. That was the most craziest story in history, bro. So I sit there, end up getting caught shoplifting with this one girl. She was older than me. I was 13, she was 19. And she was in there just racking shit up, like racking it up, and they're stealing like a motherfucker. Like, and we was at Oakland Mall, bro. And they used to have these bags that say "Shop as you are." So at this point, we already did it. Let me tell you this too. I only got caught when I had a person with you. That's why when you do a crime, I'm not promoting crime. But when you do something, always do it by your dang on self. Because every time I did the shit by myself, I was cool, I was breezy, I was gut. So anyways, take her this time or whatever, and she want to go big, like we about to go clean up, you know what I'm saying? So we sit there, we go in, we already got the MO in and out. We grab the bag, shop as you are, they free bags. So this gonna tell my age, bro. So we was in Hudson. This wasn't even Marshall at this point. They ain't changed it to Marshall yet. But we was at Hudson store. And you know, that's where they had all the gazebos, Sergio Valente, everything in there or whatever. These kids, my son gonna flame me when he see this. But anyways, you know, what's Hudson? What's Sergio Valente? Guess. So anyways, we in there racking it up. So we goes to the dressing room, and we putting the stuff on, putting the stuff in the bags or whatever. And at this point, mind you, I told you this is not first rodeo, so we got tools now. You know, back in the day, I don't know if they still do that now. I don't know, because people like order stuff online all the time now. Majority of the time, are going to the stores. I don't see that stuff like that. But anyways, they had those little paint things. What's those things called? What's those things that they had when they if you try to snatch them off, you'll fuck the goddamn clothing up, like the ink things that would stop you from stealing, and also it go off. So at this point, we became professionals with it. So I had wire cutters. I came in there prepared. We had the wire cutters. So I'm in there hitting the wire cutting shit. So she comes, she going back and forth to the dressing room. So she come back this last time, I'm like, we out of here. It's getting a little hot, you know, it's heating around here. So she sits there, she like, no, I can't go out there. I see some people I went to church with. I can't leave. I can't go out there. I ain't going out there. I'm like, what? You should have thought about that before you came here still and thinking about church people and stuff. So I'm like, no, we in there. I'm like, no, we're leaving. We're leaving now. So when we sit there, it was a lady in the dressing room hearing us argue that worked there. And so she sits there, she told like she's supposed to. She told like she was supposed to. So I'm like, oh man, we hot. So I had the bag. I dropped my bag because I'm like, I ain't about to do it or whatever. So I dropped my bag by the dressing room. I walked out and I dropped it by the dressing room because I'm like, I ain't gonna take the shit. And so I'm scared because the church people outside. She's so ballsy, she wasn't that scared because she still had her damn bag in her hand. She took that bag, she didn't put the bag down. So I'm sitting there, I'm with my two cousins or whatever on my daddy's side. So we see these two white people, there's a white man and a white woman. And they coming up the escalator and they didn't got my bags because we had to went somewhere else, but they hadn't came. I guess they didn't call the people or whatever, them the undercover security choppers and stuff. So they didn't came. They coming up the escalators with the shop as you are bags and stuff. And so I'm telling my cousin, I said, look at them. I said they in here stealing too. And so they came grab my ass. So I'm sitting up there. I said that they didn't sit there and grabbed her. They didn't grab me up. They didn't took me in the back. Took her dumb ass to the back. And mind you, when I go in there, before I got I'm missing pieces. Before I sit there and get the shop as you are bags, I was stuffed and stuff. I had to stuff the shirt, had a third booby in the middle of my shirt with a guest shirt right there. And so I'm sitting there, they never taking me, they take me to the back or whatever. They was like, the guy interrogating. He was like, what else do you have? What else? I said, I don't have nothing else. He was like, stop playing with me. Give me everything you got. I'm like, I don't have nothing else, sir. He was like, what is that right there? And I was like, what? He was like that. I was like, oh, dang, my bad. I forgot I even had this right here. So I had to negate him in the shirt and stuff. He had the bag with my tools in there. My dumb ass in there small, so I ain't used them tools to get to steal the stuff or whatever. And so anyways, long story short, I ended up getting in trouble. It was a felony because it was so much merchandise or whatever. And I had to go to court, end up getting on probation. That's how I became a ward of the state. So I was in the system at 13, which looking back, I feel was a good thing, but at the time I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it at all. And so I ended up I was supposed to have a juvenile probation officer, but they ended up making a mistake and giving me a dope probation officer. You know them adult probation officer don't give a fuck. Like they don't care for real. That's you F up at your own free will if you want to. You going back to jail. So they really wasn't paying attention to me like that or whatever. So I was skipping or whatever. They did make me have therapists and stuff like that. So I did have a therapist, but she wasn't feeling me or whatever. She was mad because I didn't want to talk. And at this point, like I said, I had already was going through this with my mama since I was 9 years old. And at this point I had began to grow like kind of not cold, but guarded with my feelings and my heart and my emotions. So she wanted to keep talking to me and asking me, at this point, I feel like those dumb questions, like, well, how do you feel that your mom is doing drugs, and how do you feel not being, like, how the fuck would you feel? Like, you know what I'm saying? You got a mama, right? You know what I'm saying? That's another reason why I'm telling my story, because a lot of people, you know, they like go do therapy and stuff like that or whatever, like, which is good for some people. If it works for you, it works for you. But I feel like a lot of people, they don't understand, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand if they didn't really walk that journey, so they can't relate to where you're coming from and what you're going through. So anyways, fast forward, I was skipping school. At this point, I was some tomboyish stuff. I was always like a girly girl, but I was like a girly tomboy at this point, hanging with my male cousin and my best friend. You'll hear me talk about my best friend and my boy favorite cousin at the time, which that's Tracy's son or whatever. He was one of the people that I wanted to be around as well all the time. But I started hanging with him more and whatever, and being more, a little more rough around the edges or whatever. Still a girly girl, but just a little bit rough around the edges. My best friend, 4'5", I've been friends with him for like 30 years. 30 years I have been friends with him. That's my baby or whatever. And he, I was hanging with them or whatever. At this point, they was selling drugs. Because they was a little bit older than me. And they was selling drugs at the spots and stuff. I was skipping school. I was just being rebellious at this time, but not like rebellious in a way like how I could have been considering my circumstances. So I was skipping. I was skipping a lot. And I was not complying with the therapist and, you know, trying to get better with, I guess, my behavior, as in like expressing how I felt in my emotions. I didn't want to hear it. So they ended up violating my probation. And I was staying with Tracy again at this time. And honestly, she snitched on me. She snitched on me too. Like, she could have, which, looking back now, as an adult, everything happened for a reason, and it played out how it played out for a reason, because it all needed to happen. But she could have spared me from going to juvenile. So anyways, she ended up expressing too to them, like, yeah, Tawana's just she's just a rebellious kid. Like, she didn't say I was. She said she's not a bad kid. She's not rebellious. She said I was defiant. And I'm like, I don't reckon me being defiant, but I reckon your kids being defiant, but I don't think I'm defiant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like she was always putting me down on things that I wanted to do. I guess because I wasn't her child. You know what I'm saying? But me being an auntie, I don't care if that's not my kid or not. If that child wants to do something and they want to spread their wings, I'm going to support it. I'm going to support them. I'm not going to never put a kid's dreams down or shatter them or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, she ended up helping telling. The therapist was telling, because she was like, hey, she don't want to talk to me. She cold. She don't got nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? So I was skipping school. My grades was sucked. They was horrible, you know, because I wasn't at school. Shit, I wasn't at school. I was at school, but I wasn't at school. I was skipping, going to the spot with my cousin and my best friend all the time. So anyways, I ended up getting violated, and I had to go to court. And they was like, I knew I was going to have to go. I knew they was going to put me in juvenile. And so my Aunt Tracy, she not making it no better. Because she didn't told these people, like, yeah, you know, she needs to find embarrassing, all this other extra stuff. And not only that, she scared the hell out of me. She telling me all these stories and stuff like, you go to juvenile, they gonna be in there beating your ass. She was telling these horror 80s stories and shit. Telling some, they gonna be in there beating your ass. They take your food. They in there fighting over chicken, basically fighting over meals. They fighting for meals. They fighting for your vagina, like it's your sexuality. I'm in there, I'm scared, and she telling me all this shit. So I'm like, hell to the no. Who going there? I ain't going there. So I sat there. I got the fuck on. I didn't even make it to the court. So I sat there, packed my little statue. And I had, I took my cousin bike. Sorry, I gave that money back. And your mama should have bought you a bike. I'm not sure if she did. But I took her bike, and I got the fuck on. So I ran away. Which was kind of messed up in a good way. And messed up and bad and good, I can say. But anyway, so I sat there and ran away. My cousin, Sean at the time, he was, like I said, he was doing his own thing, slanging. He hadn't got put out from at Tracy house too, whatever, because he was defiant. And he was defiant. So he wasn't staying there. He was staying where he was rolling at the time. And I couldn't really stay there. My best friend, 4'5", he was already kind of out in the streets anyways, because his parents was just parenting somewhere else. Not parenting, but just, he damn near was living with us. We used to sneak him up under the damn bed at our house and sneak him over so he can have somewhere to stay and sleep for the night. So he ended up being with me when I was running away. So we was like staying at bus stops and stuff or whatever, just staying and sleeping wherever we could sleep at this time. And because, you know, I didn't have nowhere to go at this point. So I had a plan. So at this point I had turned, my bad, I gotta give y'all the age frame. I was 14 when this happened, when I got violated and I had to go to court. So I was 14 and a half. And I ran away. Like I said, me and 4'5", we was everywhere or whatever. We'd stay with Sean at the spot sometimes, but a lot of times we couldn't. So we would be, like I said, we'd stay at bus stops or whatever, sleep in cars, just, you know, wherever we can go. So I just knew at this time, I'm like, I can't keep doing this or whatever. So he was like, hey, I used to roll for this one guy, and you could just stay there, stack your bread up or whatever. And then my plan was to get my money up, roll, get as much money as I can, stack my bread, and go to Job Corps in Ohio when I turned 16. So I was only supposed to do this for like a year and a half, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So we was waiting to get in contact with him. Man, y'all don't know how good y'all got it with cell phones, man. Like, we had to be at the pay phones catching niggas and hoping they at the crib. So that's why it took a minute for me to even get over there and to do my thing. So anyways, while we waiting on the guy to okay me to come there, and if he had a position for me or whatever, to come roll at his at his spot, I was still out there. So I just told you I was kind of living a little bit on a rough end, not too much, but on a rough end. But this is going to be a hilarious story right here. So I got to give you pieces in this, the funny parts that was there. So my best friend for 5, he would always want to say what he know how to do and ain't even tried the shit. So he like, it's easy, dog. I'm telling you, it's easy. So we was, like I said, we was kids. So he like, man, all we need is a car. All we need is got to get us a car. We can steal the car. It's easy to steal the car. All we need is a snatching kit, man. We need a snatching kit. So we sit there, we like, really? Me and Sean like, snatch, you know how to do that? She's like, hell yeah, man, I'm telling you, I know how to do it. This nigga yapping. So Sean ended up getting the money because he managed to tell me, so he got the money. So he sits there, he goes to Ace Hardware and get the snatching kit. So the plan is, it's funny, it's hilarious. The story is funny now. It was funny then too, after I got out of danger. But it was funny. Y'all gonna be laughing too when y'all hear this shit. So anyway, so he sit there, Sean gets the snatch me kit from the hardware, AutoZone or whatever. We waiting, like, we gotta go out to the burbs. We gotta get out to the burbs. So we going Dearborn. We get nighttime. We gonna hit it. So we ain't reckoning that the buses they stop running at a certain time out there. So we sit there, we goes out there at nighttime. Mind you, this 4-5 yapping. 4-5 said, it's easy. He know what he doing. Get the snatch me kit. Gets the snatch me kit. We gets out there. This nigga don't even know how to use the bitch. We in there trying to steal cars. He ain't even successful at it. And again, fast forward, thank goodness that we wasn't, because that would have been some karmatic shit I would have had to deal with now. Like, boy, let me tell you how washed up I am, but I'll tell you about that later. But anyway, so he sits there. He couldn't even use the snatch me kit. And this is where it gets funny. So every car, he like, man, I'm telling you, something wrong with this lot right here. He made every excuse why he couldn't get in that motherfucker. We like, bro, you said it was easy, right? We encounter a car that's already stolen. This nigga couldn't even steal a car that was already stolen. This nigga couldn't steal a car that was already stolen, bro. So he like, something in there wrong. He gets in the car. So now the universe that blessed him without having to use snatch me kit to open the door. And not only that, the ignition thing is already busted down because it's already a stolen vehicle. He gets in there, he don't even know how to start the motherfucker up, bro. He don't know what he doing. And so me and him that's my best friend, mind you, but we used to be scrapping. Like, we would be fighting like cats and dogs. Like, we didn't got put on buses, all type of stuff, because we be banging in there. Like, his mouth was too much. He a Libra, I'm a Taurus. And let me tell you, like, best friends, but he talked too damn much. And so he ain't like, because I was going to point it out. So anyways, I'm laughing. So we like, man, Sean like, man, I'm about to go back to the crib, bro. Like, this crazy. So at this point, we didn't been walking. Mind you, I'm suited and booted up because we on a mission. I got the wrong damn shoes on for what about to happen next. I didn't came to do crime with Tim's on. With Tim's. So, oh my God. So mind you, we out here, we left late. So we end up finishing our dry ass run up later. So it was like 1 o'clock at night. Mind you, we out in the burbs. Buses start running. The buses stopped running. Man, so we had to walk from Dearborn to Detroit, west side. And not the west side that y'all thinking about that's close to Dearborn, like Livernois, Elmhurst west side. We had to walk back to get to where we was going because the buses wasn't running. Which, I mean, I guess I was hackling and cackling a little too much, and the universe wanted to shake some shit up on me and shut me the hell up. So this car ended up pulling up, rolling real slow on the side of us, and we, you know, 4-5, he's like, man, 4-5 is trying like, man, get on this side and stuff or whatever. And so the energy, I don't know what it was, like they didn't even say that. Like I said, I've been an empath my whole life, you know what I'm saying? I always read energy. So he like, get over there, and my spirit told me anyways, like I couldn't trust it. So the guy one of the guys ended up getting out the car. I started running. I ran into the woods and stuff like that. I was gone or whatever. And I heard them say, get her, she gonna, before I started running, I heard them say, get her, she gonna run. So I had already had a head start to sit there and get the hell on. Like they was gonna try to kidnap me, you know what I'm saying? But 4-5 and Sean, they was, you know, there, but if they had guns and stuff, like what was they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Because they was only physical power, but they ended up, thank God, like I said again, thank my spirit team. Woo, thank my spirit team, thank my spirit team, thank my spirit team. Because they end up just going away. Because I'm thinking they had turned around. Like that's what made them look suspicious. Because they had rolled, and then I think they had rolled and turned around. And then we was like, what the hell? And in my end, it was like, it was weird behavior. So anyways, I had ran. So 4-5 being the leader that the fuck he is, and he was like, man, I was like I said, I was so deep in the bushes and stuff like that in the woods. He was like, man, hard knock. He used to call me hard knock. They used to call me hard knock back in the day. He's like, hard knock. Come on, bring your ass out. You can come out now. Oh God, he wasn't gonna let me lay that shit down because mind you, I was cracking the fuck up at his ass to couldn't steal this already stolen vehicle. So he was like, your ass scared? Oh, I hate him. He was like, you was scared? And so I'm like, I was like, man, stop talking to me. So we was about to fight because he pissed me off because he's sitting up there, he wanted his lick back because I was cackling too hard. So he antagonizing me and stuff, you know, I'm starting to think, I'm running back thinking all the shit that this nigga was saying to me, talking about something. I'm gonna smack the fire on his ass when I see him. He gonna talk, I thought you supposed to be hard. You heard? You was scared? Yes, nigga, I was scared. Okay? My vagina was up on the line. So he sat there, was antagonizing me or whatever. Anyway, so we about to fight or whatever. Chill at their ass, get your ass, shut up, this and that, you know. So we going back and forth, and I'm like, man, whatever. So anyway, this journey, mind you, we walking because I told y'all it was no buses running. I'm in Tim's. So we didn't walk this. Watch the sunrise in this bitch. By the time we got to where we were supposed to go to, feet busted, burning. Mind you, Tim's. Sun rising. So we didn't get back to the city. Thank God we didn't, I think we ended up catching the bus. Me and 4-5 ended up catching the bus to the guy that I was supposed to be rolling for or whatever. He had agreed to, you know what I'm saying, let me roll for him or whatever. And so I had ended up getting there, staying there with him or whatever. 4-5, I think he didn't want to roll for the guy no more. He was doing his own thing because I can't remember exactly what he was doing or whatever, but he was doing his own thing on some other stuff. So I end up staying there. They'd come visit me here and there or whatever. So I was rolling, selling for about a couple months. Nobody knew where I was at except my favorite cousin Shanika. Like, she knew my father. He was looking like, well, I know you know where Tauwana. I know you know where she at. You guys let me know where she at. Like, I'm thinking about that shit now. Like, bro, like, the panic wasn't panicking for me. Like, it should have been more panic on the line considering your whole daughter was gone. But anyway, so like I said, me and my mama always been close. Like, she was my best friend too. Like, you know what I'm saying? We Bonnie and Clyde. Like, you know what I'm saying? Partner in crime in it too. So I ended up calling my mom. Calling my goddamn, my mom ended up being there, and so she was like, yeah, Punky, you know, they've been looking for you and stuff or whatever, and whoop whoop whoop. And I was like, well, you know, I'm doing what I'm doing. And she was like, just turn yourself in, Punky, just turn yourself in. And I was like, I guess so. So she ended up finessing me. Well, now I ain't gonna say finessing me, but she ended up talking me out of staying and doing my plan with going to Job Corp and doing all that, which it was not my plan. It wasn't what I was meant to do. Sorry, jabbering. It wasn't what I was meant to do. So she talked me down. She was trying to finesse me to get over there and get in spot, and I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. Like, you a whole addict, you about to get me beat the fuck up or killed or some shit because you coming over here to taking my sack or whatever. And so I told her, I was like, all right, well, I was like, I'll come over my goddamn house in a day or two because I wanted to get some more money. I ended up going over there, packing all my stuff up, told the guy that I couldn't, that I was leaving, which he wasn't mad. He was like, hey, you post harder than these guys. And anyway, so yeah, so anything that I ever did, I always was, I was at the best at it or whatever. So not glorifying or whatever, because especially how I feel about the situation now, but it was just my circumstances, and I was just trying to survive at that time. I ended up leaving and going to my dad house with my mom, and my mom, I guess because she knew I had the money, she never done this before to me, but she was asking me for money for drugs, and that kind of hit me a little different, because it was like, at this point, like, I knew my mom was like strung out, but at this point I feel like she had kind of detached. She had been kind of checked out a little bit more, like, of a detaching, because it was like, this your pumpkin, mama. Like, why you asking me for money, for drugs, you know what I'm saying? And so it was like, I had to stay over there for that night, and that whole night she just kept waking me up every hour asking me for money to buy drugs. And so I remember Mario, he had that same story, kind of similar to mine, with his mom, and how she was a drug addict or whatever, and I think she was doing the same thing or whatever. But anyways, fast forward to that. So I ended up turning myself in, going to JDF, and went to JDF, turned myself in. This was when the whole Leah, she died to her plane crash. This was around that time. And it was around 9/11. That was all around the same time or whatever. So it was like, I was scared because, JDF, anybody know, being in Michigan, Detroit or whatever, like, JDF is like downtown. So it was like they had those main areas is on like high alerts and stuff like that for bomb threats and all that type of stuff. So anyways, I end up getting JDF. They checked me in or whatever. It was crazy because, like, they didn't check my order. I had sat there, they supposed to, like, they maybe been over and cough and stuff, but I had my money, like, kind of, some of my money that I had it tucked down there or whatever. So I had cash, you know what I'm saying? I had my money or whatever. And my first day there, it wasn't even nothing like Tracy was stating that it was gonna be. It wasn't females in there trying to strong arm me out my vagina and taking my chicken bones and meals and stuff. That didn't happen. I'm not gonna say the energy and it wasn't weird stuff and you know, real criminals in there. I don't mind that. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna say it wasn't those type of people in there, but it wasn't bad like she described it or whatever. So my time in JDF, I didn't cry. Like I didn't cry until I got to Vista Maria. JDF was more so waiting game. Like I was like irritated. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be here. I'm getting court date. They gon', hopefully they reinstate my probation. I'm in there talking like y'all think that y'all adult criminals, like y'all kid criminals don't talk like that. Like we talk like that too. Like, hey, what you think they gonna do and stuff. Like, what I'm saying, especially the ones that was repeat offenders, which I ain't understand like how they would. I don't want to know how, but that was like past tense anyways. But like they repeat offenders as kids. Like you want to keep being in here? Like one time I don't want to be in there no more. So anyways, I was there at JDF for like a month. It was, man, it was bad as in like hygiene status more, I could say. And the food was bad. Hygienically, it was bad. The going to bed when it's sun outside was bad. Not really being able to look outside. My OCD, the toilet being connected to the damn sink, that was bad or whatever. But I say the hygienic part was bad because you had to get on different levels to be able to get name brand soaps, deodorants and stuff. Like every girl in there, like you could smell when they was on their menstrual cycle because they made you wear paper panties. You had to wear paper panties. You had that watered down deodorant, so everybody smelled, you know what I'm saying? Like don't move too hard. Like this, all that I was doing here, you was gonna be musty after that because it was watered down deodorant, and you had to get on different levels just to sit there and get to be able to get those things or whatever, and be able for your people to bring it in or give you the money to purchase those things. So at this point, I think it was like my third week being in JDF, and this girl, she was like the youngest girl there, Erica. I remember her. She was 11 years old in juvenile, and it was like she was the youngest girl there. She had ended up helping her mama fight the police. I forgot why they was fighting the police, but it was on the news. But she had ended up helping her mama fight the police, and they put her little ass in jail. And so she was there. At this point I was getting agitated. I was getting agitated and stuff. And so the people that came, they came for church people that came with the Bibles and stuff, and I was just irritated. I didn't want to hear none of that. I was just like, why am I not went home yet? Why haven't I really been able to get no phone calls and talk to nobody? Why ain't nobody telling me anything? So I was mad. So the little girl Erica, she was like, man, Tauwana, she was like, be cool. She was like, man, she's like, man, just get your Bible and, you know what I'm saying, be easy. She was like, basically, because I was about to crash out, basically. And so she was like, just be easy. She was like, I heard them saying something. I heard them mention your name and saying something about you going to be leaving soon or whatever when I was back there. And I was like, man, you better not be lying and stuff. And she was like, no, I ain't lying. I did. And so I ended up complying, doing a little Bible study, basically, getting my Bible. I still got that Bible to this day. That's crazy. But, and them get my Bible. She wasn't lying because, you know, they did. They was talking about me, and I was leaving. I was leaving. So I ended up getting down the hole. So they called me, and I'm waiting. I got my clothes on. I'm like, whoo, about time. I'm about to go home. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm in my waiting cell and stuff, just waiting. I'm in there talking to the other girl. They waiting and stuff. I'm like, man. I was like, my daddy always late. I was like, he's late for everything. I was like, I bet you I'm waiting on my daddy. I was like, I bet you I'm waiting on him to come get me. I was like, he late for everything. He wasn't ever coming. So the sheriffs opened the door. They called me and they called this other girl. And okay, rewind, because you gotta understand the trauma that I had. So prior to that, it was girls, like 2 weeks in, it was girls coming back from Vista Maria telling horror stories. Now this shit was getting scary. Like they was telling horror stories. Like, man, you don't want to go to Vista Maria. They make you wash your clothes out of your hand. They be kicking bitches down the stairs. They be doing wild behavior there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, what? We like, damn, really? They was like, yeah. So they seen some word. You don't want to go to Vista Maria. We was like, damn, really? They came back from JD. They didn't came from Vista Maria back to JDF. Mind you, JDF is like maximum security. Like Vista Maria is maximum security, but you get to see outside. You get to smell the roses, the flowers, the branches, something shit. You get to smell outside, basically. Like JDF, you don't smell shit. You don't get to smell anything there. You know what I'm saying? Like you in a building. So, anyways, fast forward back. Sheriff called us, and I was like, damn. I was like, you know, where to go? And I see the sheriff. I'm like, where we going? And he was like, Vista Maria. He said it just like that. I was like, oh hell no. So he was like, no, come on, you'll be all right. So these sheriffs, they so grimy, bro. They grimy. The whole time we in the back seat driving to Vista Maria, they telling horror stories. They in there telling massive, scary stories. Like, yeah, they be doing this, they be doing that. We be getting called there. You know what I'm saying? The girls is wild. They be fighting you, all type of stuff. And so we pull up. They are so dirty. We pull up to Vista Maria, and he was like, but y'all will be all right though. We like, after you just told us all this horror stories and stuff, like we gonna be all right though. So sits there and goes in to Vista Maria. They checking us in. So this is when I cried. I didn't cry this day, but I cried when I got to Vista Maria. So it was like this little short munchkin butchy thing at the door. And she was looking like it was fresh meat. And at that moment right there, I knew shit got real. Shit should have been real. At the running away, at the kidnapping, at the snatch me kid, at the Tim's busting the feet, now walking from Dearborn to Detroit. Shit should have been real then. But shit got real when I seen that thing. And I at that point I felt my womanhood was up for grabs. So I was scared. And we went in there. The staff was irritating. They like, you gotta take your clothes off. We need to see every mark on you. But I said, look, I could tell you every mark on my body. I'm not taking my clothes off, man. So like, that's protocol. You have to take your clothes off. We gotta check your body. I just felt it was like inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? So I was defiant there. And so I was giving up a little bit harder fight. But so she didn't really want, too much of smoke. So she was like, all right, just show me, you gotta show me this part. So I think I showed her my legs. I was like, I'm not taking my bra off and all that other stuff. Now you tripping. So I sit there, I does that or whatever. I'm sitting up there, I pull my pants up, and she's like, all right, that's cool. But I'm like, I don't want to take my bra off. You looking at my butt. That's just, you know what I'm saying? I'm a kid. Like, I just felt like that was inappropriate and stuff. And so I sits there and I I did that. They gave me my change of clothes. It was like divided into 3 different wings. A wing, B wing, and C wing. I think I was on C wing. I think we was on C wing. And yeah, because that was the last floor. Like, that was the last floor. And how I know I was on C wing, because we was the last people to eat. Every time we was the last people to eat, and they would be dogging the food. They would dog the food. Like, they would be dogging the food, bro. And so like, we barely, we had a meal. It was like, it wasn't as much, bro. Like, so the people that was like on the higher floors, they got served first, they would be eating more food or whatever. Anyway, so I was in there. When I got to my room or whatever in the wing, like it was like Lisa at JDF. You had Lisa at JDF, you had your toilet in the room. Like at Vista Maria, you had to knock on the door. Excuse me. You had to knock on the door to go to the damn bathroom. Like, and wait for the people to come open your door to go to the bathroom. Like, it was just more, I don't know. Vista Maria was more depressing, I could say. Like JDF was like, it was depressing, maybe because it was fresh, and at this point too, I had been away too long too, so it probably was just catching up with me and stuff like that. I do be late, so you know, it probably was just catching up with me. But no, it was more depressing at I could say at Vista Maria. It was bored, it was depressing. So you had to knock on the door to go to the bathroom. We had to wear the same outfit, but they did, you know, change it up and stuff. Like you had to wash. I think one was once a week. You had to wash your clothes. Contraband was colors, which I'm pretty sure that's like everywhere in the prison system or jail system, wherever. But what is it? Pencils, papers, crayons, arts and crafts shit. I kept contraband in my room because I was bored at night. So those type of things right there, those were contraband things or whatever. So anyways, a lot of people that came from JDF was a lot of people that was in JDF started coming to Vista Maria. The first week I was there, this girl came from JDF. She was older too. She wasn't even supposed to be in here. They was like, why is she even here? Because I think she was like 18 or something like that. Like she was supposed to be in the adult side or whatever. But they ended up sending her to Vista Maria. So she done came in there making all demands off a lot. She done came in there, had shut it down. Like Vista Maria, if you threatened, if they heard, if little birdie said that somebody was running, we couldn't go to school. Everything got shut down. Everybody getting grilled. Like, honestly, school was like, you wanted to go to school because it was boring. Like it was very depressingly boring there, and the school was like on the other side. It was like a campus, like how Vista Maria look. It's like a campus. So we would have to buddy arms and lock and walk, and you better not think you gonna run, because the staff would tell your ass that shit too. Like if you run and we catch you, we beating your ass. You run, we catch you. You get asked up, okay? Because we had to run and get you. You know what I'm saying? And then looking back as an adult, I'm like, man, Vista Maria, it's so much woods in there, you don't know where you at. But when I sit there as an adult and I'm riding past, I was like, it's right there. I could have ran away and got the hell on. like all I had to do was get through the woods and know which way I was going. But anyway, so if you threaten to run, they were shutting stuff down. So this girl came in, she didn't lie and said she had a blade in her mouth, and that she was gonna swallow it. She was making, I gave her kudos, because she sat there, she made all demands. She got a cigarettes. I think she even demanded some food. Like, she demanded a whole bunch of stuff, but she had to shut down, lock down for hours. Like, we was on lockdown for hours. And they ended up getting her out of there. I think she ended up going to like the Wayne County. Like she's supposed to be in the higher, the adult prison, adult county or whatever. So they ended up getting her out of there safely or whatever. I think they found out she ain't had no blade in her mouth or whatever. I'm trying to give y'all some juicy stuff that happened when I was locked up in the in JDF and in Vista Maria. So in JDF, this was one of the things that was sickening that happening. This one girl, they had mistakenly stated that she was gonna go home and mixed her name up with somebody else, and boy did that piss her off. So she had us on lockdown too. She was in her room period on everything, like was period blooding on everything. She was sliding her dirty pads under the door. They locked her down because she was threatening, trying to fight the staff or whatever with the blood. It was bad because they mixed her name up and stated that she was supposed to be going home, and she didn't. She crashed the heck out. She crashed out real bad. But that wasn't as bad as in Vista Maria. Vista Maria, if you talking that suicide shit in there, or they gonna watch you. Like they gonna watch you. They gonna watch you. So if you threaten suicide at Vista Maria, they put you in a paper gown. They're gonna watch you. You can't have your door closed. They're gonna watch you sleep, eat, drink, piss, shit, shower, everything. You gotta be butt naked under a paper gown. You can't take a shower. They're watching you while you take a shower. They're watching you while you take a piss. They're watching you while you take a shit. They're watching you while you sleep, literally. Like you can't do anything. So it was 2 girls that was there that tried to commit suicide. And it was sad because it's like after so long being there, you kind of go like a little sisterhood with these girls and stuff like that. And you know, you hear their backstories and stuff. That's why I say I done been through so much and been around so many different people hearing their stories. Like it's people that got even, you know what I'm saying, worse stories than I had experienced and stuff like that or whatever. Thank God that I had like the village that I had to help raise me. Even though like some of the villages I was at, I feel like I wasn't treated right, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just glad that I did have the people in my life that, you know, helped raise me. And it also helped mold me into who I am today, you know, by taking pieces from everything and everybody, things that I learned or whatever. But anyways, going back to one of the things that I seen that was pretty sad at Vista Maria, my girl Sean, she was a young mom too. She was a young mom, and I think they was supposed to bring her baby up to come see her, and they didn't bring her baby, and I think she hadn't seen her baby in so long, and she crashed out bad. I had never seen nothing like this before. Like it was crazy. Like she sat there and she started banging her head on the wall, like banging her head on the wall. Like it was the way that she was doing it that was like traumatizing, like shocking. Like she was just busting her head against the wall. And it was like Sean was such a bubbly person. Like she had the most beautiful personality. Like she was always upbeat and just happy and stuff. So I think that's another reason why it was like traumatizing and traumatic to see, because it was like seeing somebody that bubbly and with that type of awesome personality to sit there and crash out like that, and to see them in that type of light, that was pretty sad to see. But she was on suicide watch. Like we all huddled up with her and, you know what I'm saying, sat with her with her paper gown, made jokes and stuff after she had calmed down or whatever. But that was one of the things that I had seen that kind of always stuck with me, just seeing her with the young girl that was young, that was 11. She was in there. That was like, damn, like she a baby in here. You feel what I'm saying? Because she was the youngest person in there. What else can I say that was really, it was just like different things, like people that was there, knew they was going upstate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you know that you about to sit down, like you going to Adrian somewhere. Like that's how you know you about to do some real time. Like they sending you to Adrian, Saginaw, somewhere like that or whatever. So anyways, going to see what else? Okay, people that's in my life that helped impacted me. Miss Lane, my case manager. I love her so much dearly. To this day, that is still my baby. I love her. I'm like her daughter. You know, she came and she helped me. So, like I told you in the beginning, when I was on probation, I had the therapist or whatever, and the people, the team, they was like taking it personal and stuff like that. Because I didn't want to talk about it, and it was like I was hurting. Like, what? I'm hurt. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, could you imagine this your life just changing in a matter of goddamn months? You know what I'm saying? Drastically. So it's like, how do you think I'm gonna feel? You know, asking the questions or whatever that they was asking. So when I end up getting my case manager, Miss Lane, she ended up coming to Vista Maria. And at this time in Vista Maria, I was tight. No, rewind. So I think it was like the first couple of days I get to Vista Maria, I get to make some phone calls. So I sit there and I end up calling my dad, my father. And I'm asking him why, because I'm thinking he was supposed to be picking me up. Mind you, I'm in the cell at JDF tomorrow, so my daddy be late all the time, and the sheriff was there. It wasn't him. So I'll call him when I get to Vista Maria, like, hey, you know, when am I coming home? Did you talk to anybody? Like, did they say when I'm coming home or whatever? Guess what he told me? He said, no, I ain't heard none, but you should look at this as a vacation. A vacation? To be in a juvenile place? Be locked up as a vacation, sir? Like, it was crazy work. It was like, what? What are you talking about? That's why I mean his relationship was kind of strained. We have a good relationship now, as in like, you know, we're in a better space now or whatever, but when I was younger and my early adult years, like, we just crashed and clashed a lot. But anyways, going back to Miss Lane, so I first met Ms. Lane when I was at Vista Maria. Mind you, at this point, like I told you, I was guarded. I was tight with my emotions. I ain't want to express nothing. I was angry. I had a lot of anger in me. I was hurt. I was pissed. So when she came to see me, she asked me questions. I'm standoffish to her, and so she's like, "Hi, Ms. Lane. I'm your new case manager." And I'm like, I'm like being real standoffish to her. Like, I ain't want to hear shit she was talking about, to be honest with you. Like, why is she here? I ain't trying. I was on my bull mode. Like, I didn't want to hear it. And so she didn't care. Like, she kept asking me them questions, but calmly, like, and okay. So now what else is it? And so what do you desire to do? What's your goals? And now she asked me. And so when I'm realizing that it ain't working, my standoff behavior, it made me put my guard down a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, well, she's not running from me. So she talked it to me, and me and her ended up, we ended up being cool. So I was looking forward to her coming to see me every I think she came to see me like every other week, or you know what I'm saying, I can't remember exactly when or how often she seen me, but she came to see me a lot there or whatever. So when she came to see me, it was like we started getting a relationship and being cool. So I'm asking her, like, when am I going? She's like, well, you know, you can leave, you can get out of here if you can get on, you can find somewhere to go, if somebody can let you come live with them, and you could get on tether, and then you could do the rest of your, you know what I'm saying, do your time on your tether, and if somebody would let you live with them. And so we was trying to find somebody at this point or whatever. So couldn't live with my father. My grandma, I hadn't already left her house, so when she was tired, like, I can't blame her being, you know, adult now. Like I said, she had 13 kids, and then half of them damn kids was crackheads, so she had to sit there and raise them. So she had to raise grandkids, great grandkids, her kids. Like, come on now, like, she was tapped out, tired. So I didn't really blame, you know, her or whatever, because she did let me live with her or whatever. So I sat there and I was there, so I was talking to my dad or whatever, and I still had the money, you know what I'm saying? I still had the money, kept the money and shit. Like, I was, you know, taking it out, putting it back every time I had to go, because, you know, I couldn't call contraband and stuff. So my father had told me, like, well, Tracy said that you can come back there, but she want me to replace that bike. But at this point, Tracy, other kids, which is my, like I said, them like my siblings and stuff like that, they had been left. Sean was gone because he was over at this point, and he didn't want to be listening to her stuff anyways and be under her rules and shit like that. So anyways, he ended up was gone. She had younger kids that she needed sitting for. So I only made it because she needed a babysitter. And so she ended up letting me come back there because she needed a sitter. And I was able to get tethered to her house. But before I got tethered to her house, because I forgot what was going on. It was something going on to the point that it was taking a long time for me to able to get it or whatever. So I had to go from Vista Maria to Barrett House. I had to go to a group home. So it was like stages and stuff that I had to go to. So I ended up going from Vista Maria to Barrett House to a group home. That was way more, that was more freedom there or whatever. You could actually go outside, sit on the porch, and not really have to have a person on your back or whatever. Like a group home, like kind of work I do now or whatever, but not with teens, just with disabled people. But anyway, so I was at Barrett House, ended up going to Barrett House. That wasn't that bad. I wasn't there for too long. I was only there for like a few weeks. And they ended up finally getting in contact with the tether people, so I was able to get tethered to Tracy House or whatever. But I had a janky tether though. I had a janky tether. Like, me and Miss Lang was cracking up about that. This whole time thinking my tether was working, and the mud was janky. Like, it was jank. So I only had to be on the tether for a few weeks or whatever. They ended up taking that off. I had to agree to anger management. I had to do therapy. And I had to do something else. It was like 3 things that I had, 3 programs I had to participate in to be able to, so I wouldn't have to go back to juvenile, because I had a mean judge. Like, when I went back to go see the judge and got on tether, like, she was mean. She was like, if I see you back in my courtroom again, I was going up north. Like, she was gonna send me to up north. Like, she's like, I'm removing you out your parents' home for basically good. So I was scared about her, so I was like complying and stuff or whatever. But people that really impacted my life and helping me, like I said, Miss Lang, I'm still friends with her to this day. Daphne French, she was a person, she was another social worker, and she helped me do so much, man. Like, I love her too, to this day. Shirley Chisholm, she is another person that helped me out or whatever. About to make me cry. But these are people that help impact my life, and I used to always tell them, especially Miss Lane and Miss French, I used to be like, I thank y'all for helping me, change and stuff like that. And they used to always tell me, like, you change because that's what you want to do.
I love you, Equinox.
It's been a lot of rainy days. I hope that God is making a way. Don't think I needed you anyways. It took some time for me to see it. Y'all don't see what I see. Wear my heart on my sleeves. I'm just tired of bleeding. I always wind up losing in the end.